here on the GSMC Baseball Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Again, liking, commenting, subscribing really does help the channel, really means a lot to us. Tipping as well, streamelements.com/GSMC Sports Network /tip. It really would mean a lot to us. It really helps everyone. So thank you so much for that. All right, we're going to go to our second segment here, as I said, and it is going to be talking about Rookie of the Year previews, specifically one candidate from each team that could be in the Rookie of the Year race. Now, I know it's kind of early to talk about awards. I'm going to have a full show dedicated to it at some point closer to the start of the season, talking about my award predictions and favorites and previews and stuff like that. But I've talked a lot about young players in this channel and my live streams and recordings, so I think it only makes sense to talk about Rookie of the Year favorites for these teams. And I really I really want to talk about it. I'm excited too. So let's get started here. First team we're going to be talking about is the Yankees, because we have to start with the Yankees. So the first player I'm going to be talking about for the Yankees is Austin Wells. I do think he is the most likely Rookie of the Year candidate for them. Obviously, it would be Jason Dominguez, but he is hurt and he's out for an undetermined amount of time. And I think Austin Wells is a very good player. I think he easily has the top catching role right now for the Yankees. He's been a top prospect for a little while, and it makes sense for him to be a Rookie of the Year candidate. He's a power hitting catcher, switch hitter. Needs to work on defense a little bit, but that's the same for every young catcher, really. But he has a great bat, and I think there's a really bright future for him. So I'd look at Austin Wells as the guy to watch right now for Yankees Rookie of the Year candidate. He's very, very good, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he does this year. Next, we have the Orioles, and I've talked about him a few times on this channel. Can't be anyone else for Rookie of the Year favorite than Jackson Holliday. Yes, he was in Double-A last year, but he's the number one prospect in baseball for a reason. He's that good. He's probably going to be on the MLB roster opening day. I would be surprised if he isn't with how good he is. He's going to be one of the top shortstops in baseball pretty easily. Got his name up there with the elite guys like Seager, like Lindor, like Bobby Witt, I think pretty soon. So, Jackson Holliday is a beast. I think any baseball fan knows that. He's so good. The Orioles' young core is just absolutely incredible, and I think Jackson Holliday is at the forefront of that and going to be a guy to build around for a long, long time in Baltimore. And by most people, he's the AL Rookie of the Year favorite right now, and I wouldn't really disagree. Next, we have for the Red Sox, Cedeno Rafaela. He's a good outfield prospect, a guy that showed a little bit last year in the major leagues with the Red Sox. He has good speed, good defense. Hitting needs a tiny bit of work, but I think he'll be a good player in the MLB when it's all said and done. I'm really high on him. I think he's a really good player, and I think he's definitely one of the top Rookie of the Year candidates for the Red Sox. Probably him and Wilyer Abreu. I went more with Rafaela because I think he'll make more of an immediate impact, but I don't know. I could be wrong. But again, Rafaela, I think is a really good player, and I think is a top Rookie of the Year candidate for the Red Sox and in MLB as well. The Blue Jays, this is an interesting one. It's Yariel Rodriguez. Obviously, he's 30, so he's not really a rookie, quote-unquote, but it is his first year in the MLB, and MLB considers that to be a rookie, even though he did pitch in the NPB for a long time. Blue Jays put in big signings for them. They're trying to figure out if he's going to be a starter or a reliever right now, or a mix of both. I think he'll be more of a very good back-end reliever, but if they can, fix up his stuff a little bit and make him a starter, props to them. He's very good. Looking forward to watching him, seeing what he does. And the Blue Jays don't really have that many rookie-like guys. They have Ricky Tiedemann, who I'm not sure is going to be a full candidate this year. I'm not sure when he's going to be up. Probably later, but not like full-time this year. So I think Yariel's the answer with his experience playing overseas in professional leagues. So, I definitely look at him as the top Blue Jays Rookie of the Year candidate. Again, he's not really a rookie, but he is considered a rookie because it is his first year in the MLB. So, I definitely put him on this list. Next, we have Tampa, and the easy answer here is Junior Camarino. He's one of the better prospects in baseball. He's an outstanding hitter. Going to be a third base, second baseman for the Rays for a long, long time. Broke out after that trade from the Guardians. With the Wander Franco situation, I think he could be the next guy they look to as sort of the face of the franchise, the guy to take the helm of it and bring them to the promised land again as they made the World Series in 2020. Yeah, he's very, very good. I think he's one of the top Rookie of the Year candidates. He'd probably be in my top 3 right now. And yeah, I'm very much looking forward to watching him and seeing what he does. He's a very, very good player, and he's definitely one of the top Rookie of the Year candidates. That's the end of the AL East now. We're going to move to the Central. And the first guy for the Guardians, you know who it is. I've talked about him a few times now on this channel, Kyle Manzardo. I love this guy. He's a former Rays prospect. We just talked about the Rays, of course. So, yeah, just a big power-hitting first baseman. Came over in the Aaron Savali trade. Just one of my favorite prospects in baseball. Just a pure power-hitting first baseman. I think something the Guardians have needed for a long time now. Maybe even since Mike Napoli left all those years ago. So, I mean, also Carlos Santana, just those two guys. I think they've had a big opening at first base, a big guy like that, like Manzardo. So, yeah, I definitely look at him as a Rookie of the Year candidate for the Guardians, and he's someone I'm definitely watching this season to break out and be a young star and be in that Rookie of the Year race. The White Sox, another guy I've talked about a good amount here, Colson Montgomery. Again, one of the top prospects in baseball. Smooth swinging lefty shortstop, just a great player all around. Really broke out as soon as getting drafted, and has become one of the fixtures of the future of that White Sox organization that is rebuilding. And I think he's going to be at the forefront of that rebuild. One of the guys they look to build around. I wouldn't be surprised they give him an extension rather quickly in the next year or so when he does show how good he is. So, yeah, he's definitely a Rookie of the Year candidate. I expect him to be up in the big leagues rather quickly. He could even make the roster out of opening day. That seems a little bit more far-fetched, but again, prospects are coming up earlier and earlier in the league nowadays, so I don't really think it's something that can totally be written off at this point. Tigers. I think the answer for me is Parker Meadows, a very good young outfielder prospect, of course, brother of former Tigers outfielder Austin Meadows. Very good hitter, very good defender. I think it's going to be a great piece for them in center field this year and for the future, hopefully as well for them. So, yeah, I definitely look at Parker Meadows as a Rookie of the Year candidate, especially for the Tigers. Very, very good player, guy who has a lot of tools, a lot of intangibles, and looking forward to watching him with Detroit this year. Next, the Royals. There wasn't many options, as I said before. They have an okay team, but no huge, big rookies since their guys have come up, like Vinny Pasquantino, like MJ Melendez, of course, Bobby Witt. And I think the one guy you do have to mention here, I guess, is Nick Lofton. He's a nice little utility guy, makes some nice contact, I guess. Good fielder. Not really much else to say about him. He's kind of here because, again, I didn't really have many choices for the Royals. That's not really a diss against them. It's just a lot of their young talent that they had been breeding has come up, and the last regime wasn't the best with drafting. So you have to look at this right now as the guys for the Royals. So Nick Lofton, I guess, is the candidate for the Royals, but I wouldn't look at him as some guy to look at league-wide as a top candidate. Minnesota. This one's easy to me. It's Brooks Lee. Brooks Lee has a really good chance of making the roster opening day for Minnesota. Very good shortstop prospect. Can add into that very good young Twins infield with Eduardo Julian, with Carlos Correa, of course, Royce Lewis. I think Lee will play play second base right away. Create a very nice duo with Correa for a long time. And I'm very high in Brooks Lee. I think he's a really good player, and I love all the tools he brings and the intangibles as a player. So I'm really excited to watch him and see what happens with him and if he does make the roster on opening day. Moving on to the final division, the AL West here. First, we have the Astros. The first one is Gabe Kessinger. Not much to say about this. The Astros don't really have many prospects because they are a great team, and most of their prospects have come up already, like Yainer Diaz. Gabe Kessinger is considered a rookie, I still believe. He's a fine bench guy, but nothing really to talk about further. Just had a final player for the Astros with where the roster is. Again, this is a good thing because they have so many good older players, but it's just where the situation is right now for the Astros. Angels. I think the answer here pretty clearly is Nolan Schanuel. Sorry if I not mispronounced that name. He was the first round pick of the Angels last year, came up almost immediately after getting drafted with the Angels. They were trying to maximize that Ohtani window for the championship. And to a lot of people's surprise, hit really well. Had kind of a weird stance, kind of drew a lot of comparisons to Craig Counsell's stance back in the day, kind of really high up. But the strategy worked, and he hit really well. And I think he's looking like a prime Rookie of the Year candidate for the Angels. And, I'm looking forward to watching him and seeing what that Angels young core does. I've talked about it a little bit before, but I really like the Angels young core. I think they're kind of underrated. People kind of saw Ohtani leaving and didn't really give him the benefit of the doubt that they, or just kind of didn't look at them seriously. If they land Blake Snell, I think this can be a pretty good roster. Maybe not a roster that makes the playoffs, but a roster that definitely gives some teams some fits and competes in a way. So, I'm looking for Schanuel, and I think he's going to be a really good player. The A's next. Kind of same with the Astros. Not many players to think about this, but that's mainly because the organization is not very good right now. They don't really know what they're doing. I mean, they're about to change the franchise location, so they're kind of preoccupied with that. But I did pick Lazaro Armenteros. Nice outfield prospect. Strikes out a lot, but has good raw power, good speed. So, I'd look at him as a guy who maybe can break out and be a big piece for the A's. Maybe be a Rookie of the Year candidate if everything goes right for him. But I very much doubt it, as he's a fine player who'll be a fine player for the A's for a long time, but no, not really a standout in a way. Mariners. To me, this is pretty clearly Emerson Hancock. The Mariners have so many good young pitchers, and I think Hancock is one of the better ones. He has incredible stuff, incredible natural athlete. I think he's a future ace in this league, and I'm really excited to see what he does with the Mariners. I would look at him as one of the top Rookie of the Year prospects if he can avoid injury. So, I love Emerson Hancock. I think he's really good for that Mariners future. I think he's going to be a really good pitcher. And, I'm looking forward to seeing what he does and seeing how that young Mariners rotation performs. We have the Rangers here. It was a tough pick between Evan Carter and my guy Wyatt Langford, who you guys know I love. But I went with Evan Carter. He showed more last year because he was up in the big leagues. I mean, he was starting in the World Series, so I don't know how you can get more big leagues than that. I think it makes a lot of sense to have Evan Carter at the top of your AL Rookie of the Year list. He's a very good player, very good young player who's going to be a face of that Texas franchise for a long time. Great hitting tool, just a great player all around, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what he does with the Rangers and how he does perform and how he plays with the future of that organization. So that is my second segment here. We're going to take a break before that. We're going to talk about our third segment after that, which is going to be about our Rookie of the Year previews, basically what I just talked about, but switching up the teams a little bit. So we're going to take a break, but then when we come back from the break, we'll be talking about that. So thanks, and see you then.